Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to another episode here of Banish the Doubt. I am George McNamara, and in this episode, I would like for you to imagine yourself inside of I'm going to date myself here, a pinball machine. And I would like for you to imagine your thoughts as the ball. And the bumpers, now, for those of you who watch this, maybe a little younger, a pinball machine was when we had this machine that we stood at one end and we hit these little bumpers and we hit a ball up into the machine. It was covered by plastic. And inside the machine, we had these various bumpers. And the ball, as it would hit the different bumpers, would be pushed back around the machine. And each time we hit a bumper, the machine would, the score would increase. But in this example, your thoughts and how you see yourself is the ball. And the bumpers are the people in your life and the circumstances, but more importantly, the people. And your thoughts, how you see yourself, how you see the world, how you see your circumstances in any given moment, bounce off of these bumpers, which are the people in your life. And almost like an echo chamber, you just bounce, 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 bounce. And that's your day, right? At your job. Same people, number one, pretty much the same conversations. Number two, sort of cloaked within this thought process. Number three, and you just boom, 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 all day long. Until you understand that. And then you can be around the other people. You can have this thought process, but once you recognize, wait a minute, I'm just sort of feeding into the same narrative every single day. And how I see myself is being exemplified, is being shown as this little ball, this thought, and bang, it hits a coworker and their thoughts, which are aligned with mine because we wouldn't be having a conversation, are pretty much the same thoughts. So it's just boom, off of that bumper, boom, off of this person, another coworker's bumper, boom, off another, and we stay sort of perpetually trapped within this boom, 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 bumper, bumper, bumper. Once you recognize that, what I just spoke about, that's taking place, now you can physically be there, but emotionally, you're going to remove yourself from the effects, the emotional addiction, the addiction to the emotions that the bumpers bouncing back and forth, the thoughts bring up within us. Okay? So I would like for you to think of this every time you find yourself kind of being sucked into a conversation that has your emotions being welled up inside. Could be negative, could be positive emotions. I'm not saying to be sort of neutral and not be able to have conversations with people and ignore people. It's you can still have the conversations. Here, I'll give you an example. So earlier today at my job, there was a conversation taking place, and it was centering around the politics of the day. And I'm in America. You can imagine who the topic of conversation was about. And let's just say the people involved in the conversation weren't exactly waving the pom poms for this person. Okay, and I observed. I wasn't part of it, but I was observing the conversation. And this is where this idea of the pinball in the machine came to my imagination. And I said, the thoughts are, and this particular person they're talking about, I'm sure you can understand who I'm talking about, is the person just boing, 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 boing. There was about 3 or 4 different people involved in this conversation. But you understand what I want to illustrate here, and kind of the point I want to get across is the emotional energy that is being consumed in the moment. And what it does is it reinforces this narrative in our brain. And this is where we get stuck within this perpetual loop in our life, because we don't realize we're unconscious to the fact that we are surrounding ourselves with like-minded people, because this is who we are creating in our world. We are creating these people. Everybody, there's, from Neville Goddard talked about this. He said, everybody is you pushed out. And I was always kind of kind of curious as to what does that mean? And it finally dawned on me one day. I said, I got it. And this here illustrates that. Everybody in your reality is you in some form. They are mirroring or reflecting some part of you in that circumstance, in that conversation. Once you were able to understand this and detach yourself emotionally from that, almost as if like you're watching the conversation, but you're detached emotionally. You're seeing it take place and you're saying, oh, I get it now. I'm no longer emotionally attached to that, because I may be at my job physically, but I am whatever it is you want to be. You're creating yourself. You are creating your life in that moment. I am a multimillionaire, and this is my company, and these are my employees. You play around with it. I am looking out into the parking lot, and I see my car, a Mercedes, a Lamborghini, Corvette, a Rolls Royce, whatever it may be. So I'm saying, so you're creating your life in every single moment. And the people who are showing up in your life are nothing more than the energy that you are attracting into your life. They are operating at the same energetic level. But once you start to recognize this, I'm not saying that we're going to put them down. They're staying where they're at. You're going to rise up and say, no, I am here energetically. And then the people who are operating at this level are aligned with me and my thoughts. Energetically, these are where my thoughts are at. Because the people who operate where they are perfect health, they are in harmonious, healthy relationships with themselves first. And then they attract those like-minded people, the people who think the same way. They operate at a different, higher frequency, a higher vibration. So this is what I wanted to express to you here this evening. We start to recognize I'm here, but if my desires are here, then I have to raise my energy, raise my consciousness to the same level that the desire is at. This is why when people say things like, I don't know, I've been thinking about this for so long, I've been desiring this for so long, and nothing's changing. Understand, in that moment you are creating that. Nothing's changed. I've been desiring, nothing's changing. You're creating it. That's your reality right now. But when you start to change and you start to see yourself driving the car, you're in the car, you see yourself sitting in the house. Interestingly, at this job, we got around the conversation towards the end of the day about owning a house. And I was observing the conversations the people were having with themselves, and they didn't even realize they were having them with themselves when it came to the subject of buying a house. And you saw um, I was witnessing how their energy dropped. And this is what I'm saying, they don't even recognize it. And you're able to observe that and say, okay, you're I'm emotionally attached from the conversation. I'm observing them having this conversation, and I'm looking at them saying, wow, they just don't even understand. They are here, the eight ball is here, and they're way here behind it, and they don't even realize it because energetically and introspect, there's no even any introspection because they just are not aware. There's no awareness there. Also, I heard some music that they listen to. The energy in the music is very aggressive, full of frustration. That energy used in a proper way is very good, but unfortunately the way it's being presented, and then this is the environment that they're in, it just reinforces and keeps people in this perpetual loop. And then their thoughts are in their pinball, and they just boop, 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 day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. See where I'm going with this, year after year. And so this is my message for you here this evening. Understand what kind of energy are you bringing to your life. Understand how to emotionally detach yourself from the reality that you're in at any given time. And understand it's my old thoughts coming true. My old thoughts, the old thoughts about who I am, my old beliefs about who I am, my old assumptions about where my life is at, my old perceptions about how I perceive this reality, and my definition about who I am, where I'm at, what kind of job I have, what kind of a marriage am I in, relationship, or I'm not in a relationship. It's all sort of in a package. That's the old thinking. When we change in the now moment and say, my belief about myself is, I believe myself to be energetically aligned with my desire. My definition about who I am, I define myself, I am. That is the definition, I am. You fill in the rest of it. My perception, I perceive myself as being. You fill in the rest of it. I believe myself in this moment as being. I am this. You fill in the rest. If any of you watching this, for any reason at all, would like any one-on-one coaching in any of these areas, go to my channel. I'd be honored to sit and work with you on any of these issues that maybe you're having some challenges with. Because once you start to understand this, once this starts to really kind of take root, your life is going to blossom like the beautiful rose that is already, the seed is already inside of you. This type of thinking is the sunlight and the water that has that rose inside of you, whatever you want to use, start to germinate. Make it a great evening. Thank you so much for watching. God bless, and I'll see you soon.